day, namaskar, khushamadi. My name is Dsouza. I'm a motivational speaker, and the topic I'm going to talk about today is something that bothers a lot of people around the world. The topic is, how do you handle difficult bosses? कैसे आप difficult bosses को handle करते हैं? So let's go. Let's start and learn about it. Are you ready? So let me give you an example. You arrive in office, आप ऑफिस में arrive करते हैं, पहुंचते हैं, and there is this situation that happens. You go and get your cup of coffee from the espresso, and suddenly your boss comes and says, "Excuse me, क्या कर रहे हो? What are you doing? Why are you here? What is the time? Is this the time? Why did you come late? Why is this report not ready? You're ridiculous. You're good for nothing. I'm going to fire you." मेरा आपसे प्रश्न ये है, this is my question for you, that my friend, do you as an individual face this situation? Whether you've just started in your career, whether it is 15 years, or even if you're reporting to the head of department, it is important for you to learn how do you handle your boss. So here are some of the quick steps I like to suggest. So number one, look beyond the designation, look at the function. So number one is look beyond the designation, look at the function. Let me explain this for you. My friends, a lot of people are chakachon, a lot of people are so razzmatized about this whole aspect of, my boss is so superior to me, he is too far bigger than me, how will I talk with him, how can I give him a feedback, he's too big, he will react in such a way. So number one, this is what you need to realize, my friend, that your boss designation is not the only thing that you got to look at. What you also got to look at is that he's playing a specific function in an organization. There are times he might just get annoyed with you. There are times he might just, throw tantrums. Number one, you got to realize, my friend, your boss is just a human being like you. He is imperfect, just like you and just like me. So he is gonna make a mistake. You got to realize that he's playing a role, and you got to start looking at the larger perspective as to how his role impacts the organization, that he has to report also to a person above him. So you got to look at that perspective as well. But remember, it is not only his designation, it is also his role. So look at the role and how it impacts everything within the organization. Now you would say, picture, excuse me, what the hell is this? Let me explain this to you. Every time you want to give a feedback to your manager because he's being very difficult, he's being very demanding, he's micromanaging you, you don't like it. A lot of people have a picture in our mind which basically says that, my boss is like a monster, or my boss is too demanding, he is like this, he is like that. And as a result, the picture that you create in your mind shows that there is an element of fear in some of our minds. If you have a picture of him being very scary, being, somebody who can never be pleased, then you will never be able to, handle him or even build a relationship with him. So number one, change the picture. Remember that he's an individual just like you. He plays a role, and therefore the picture of him should be somebody, who you work with. So don't fear the boss, and create a positive picture of your boss. Create mental pictures of him, of being a person who works with you, who you report to, rather than somebody that you dread and you're scared. That's number two. Alright? Know his why. W-H-Y. Now you'll say, know his why? Iska matlab kya hai? Let me explain that for you again. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, your manager has desires, has priorities. There are things that keeps him awake late in the night. There are things that wakes him up early in the morning. There are things that bothers him. There are things that pleases him. There are things that delight him. There are things that makes him feel amazing. Now, if you really want to work with him for a long time, and some of us may not have an option to change your boss, it is important for you to know what is important for him. What will please him? What will delight him? What worries him? If you already know his passion, if you already know his dreams, if you already know where does he want to reach, if you already know what delights him, what worries him, then you will look beyond his anger, beyond his frustration. You will be able to possibly even help him reach his dream. Don't you think so? And if you're able to know his why, and if you're able to help him reach his dream, I am absolutely sure that there are chances of him wanting to help you reach your dream. Here the vocabulary. उस शब्द को आप सुनो. The word is boss. My friend, when you use the word boss, my personal belief is, it's incorrect. The boss is an individual just like you and me. When you give the word boss, you clearly make him bigger than you. You make him, far superior than you, which also means you start making yourself inferior to him. Then you will not have the guts, you will not have the courage to speak up when you need to, specifically when you're trying to handle a difficult boss. So it's important that you stop calling him boss and start calling him by his name or even by a sir, depending upon the culture that you have within your organization. But stop calling him boss, even in your mind. It's very important. Alright? The next one, which is highly important, is building a relationship. Excuse me, I don't like my boss. I just hate my boss. I don't like to spend time with him. I don't like to be with him. Yeah, क्या बोल रहा है? पागल हो गया क्या? Are you mad? Are you gone nuts? I don't want to spend time with my boss. I understand that. Some of you may not necessarily like your difficult boss. Now think about it for a minute, my friend. Whether you like him or whether you don't like him, the truth is, at least for some time, you will have to be with him. You will have to work with him. Is that correct? You'll agree with that. And if you are supposed to work with him, it is important for you to realize that you can't go every day to work trying to just ignore him or trying not to speak to him, trying to give him the cold silences. That's not going to help him. That's not going to help you as an individual. That's not going to help the organization. Neither is it going to help you reach your goals. Is that right? That's right. So, may I just recommend, if you have a challenge with your boss, if you really have some sort of an issue wherein your manager just shouted in front of everybody and told you something that you particularly don't like, or if it's even your performance appraisal scores that you don't agree with and you feel that he's given you lesser rating and anything else, the best thing for you to do, my friend, is before you escalate to anybody else, one-to-one, talk it out with him. If you have a restaurant down there, if you have a tea stall, if you have any quiet place, say, go ahead, tell me. Mr. Manager, hi. I'd like to have a quick conversation with you. This is very, very important. Sit down with him and without accusing, nobody likes pointing a finger at you. So sit down with a cup of coffee, try and genuinely build a relationship with the person. Share some positive things that you see about him, and then also share something that you felt that was not very correct. Now remember, stop accusing the person, take the situation a little more neutrally. And for that, it is important for you to calm your nerves. At the spur of the moment when you're really emotionally high, I would recommend pause. Don't give feedback then and there. Do it separately at a time when you're a little more calmer and you're more composed. Decide what you're going to talk with him. But number one, build a relationship. Take him out for a coffee, for a tea. Sit down with him. Share some positive feedback about how he's been influential in helping you learn, helping you to grow. Whenever he's supported you, at least there will be one thing about him that you would like, right? At least one thing. So appreciate him and then give a feedback. The next one is, forget about changing.